So, violence against women, as you all know, Fiji has got one of the highest rates in the world. The world's global statistics say that 1 out of 3 women are survivors of intimate partner violence. And the Fiji Fiji data shows that 2 out of 3 women, 64% of women in the last national survey that was done 10 years ago, shows that 2 out of 3 women have experienced domestic violence, physical, sexual, and emotional, and coercive control. So all those things go together. So quite very, very high. And the numbers, of course, keep increasing. I mean, not into the reports, the number of reports we are getting. And as you all know, it's a well-known fact, if you are reading what you are writing and what people are saying, or what you are hearing, that COVID has really exacerbated the situation. The fact that there has been a huge spike, and there are other issues that have come along with COVID because of lockdowns, of isolation, social distancing, people losing their jobs, men being the perpetrating men, being at home all the time, and so the burden increases on women. The impact is really felt on women a lot, both violence-wise, the workload, and all those things. So there are enough reports there that you can refer to around that, but we'll also be willing to answer questions around that. So it's exacerbated. So this year alone, up till end of November, we've seen cases up to about 900 new cases of domestic violence. That is quite high. New cases, yeah, and then people keep coming back. Then we have the repeat cases and so on, where we keep on giving support. We've attended to all our branches also in Lambasa, Nandi, Rakiraki, and Ba, and Suva. So 80 cases of rape, many of them referrals from the ODPP's Office for Support and victim impact statements, and so on. 50 cases of child sexual abuse. So in the 80 rape, they're also included the child rapes. Most of them are child rapes, yeah? And in the 50 cases of child abuse, other kind of sexual abuse with children, molestation with children, and so on. 8 cases of sexual harassment. And then we've seen about 200 people who have come in for other things, and that is the elderly abuse. That is also an emerging issue in this country, for legal assistance and support, and for COVID benefits. There's an emerging issue that we are dealing with. We're just learning more about it, how to deal with it, and we'll also, if you want, if you ask questions around the legal status of it, it's online violence, cyberbullying and so on, but online violence where women suffer violence through the internet, through cyberspace and so on. So these are the cases that we see. And of course, with COVID, what has increased is the provision of basic needs for women, because the onus is on them to find the food and so on. There are many single women, single mothers, women-headed households and so on in this country that we are supporting, who lost their jobs and who have no means of support and so on. Again, when we talk about rape, we're still seeing that 80% of rapists are known to the survivor. 80%. And they can be anybody. And of that, 50% are relatives, which is so sad, and we read that everywhere. Our research officer, Natasha, was just telling me this today, that she's looking at the stats, and she says, for child rape, for children who are raped, only 5% are strangers. So that means 95% are people known, people in places of trust with the children. So that, that's quite shocking for us, because we were still thinking like, the 20% are strangers, but actually she says the data is now showing, our data is showing like 5% are strangers.